Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to break down exactly how I made $3,200 in just over 1 minute trading ES futures. Now, this isn't about luck, it's about having a plan, spotting the difference and the setups, and pulling the trigger with discipline. So, if you ever wondered how traders catch these big moves, and quick moves, stick around because I'm going to show you step by step what I look at and what has helped me take trades like these in the past and even today this morning. What you see on your screen right now is my Rhythmic Trader Pro screenshot. I have two 50K accounts currently in the evaluation stage. For me to get funded, I need to cross the 5,300 mark on these accounts. And right now, both of them are sitting over 5,200. So I'm hoping in the next few days, I'm able to pass the 5,300 and get funded with these two accounts. What you also see is I do copy trading. So for those who are not familiar with copy trading is pretty simple. You have a master account and a secondary account. When you take trades in your master account, your secondary accounts just follow that trade, and the profits and the loss are same. The contract sizes are also same. You definitely can vary on that. I try to keep it standard. That way, it really helps me focus just on the trades, my stop loss, instead of trying to figure out my contract sizes for each account. Um, with For today's purposes, I took three contracts each in each account, which gave me just over 10.75 points on the ES. For those who are not familiar with ES or S&P 500 futures, 1 point in one contract yields you $50. So if you catch 10 points in your favor, that is $500 per contract. Today I took three contracts and it gave me close to 10.75 points. That's why you see $1,612. Let me pull up the ES chart as we are talking about ES futures, just to go over what I really saw and what really helped me take that trade. At around 10 o'clock, we saw a big push on the ES and the overall market. But as I have mentioned in the past, I am a technical trader who looks for holds on levels. So when I'm looking for a trade, it's just not about the candlestick breaking the level I'm looking at. I need to see a hold on either side. In this scenario, we saw that the 6460 level was broken with this candle. So once we see that break, I definitely knew I was looking for the longs, but I needed an entry closer to the 6460 level. When the second candle opened above 6464, I was looking for a retest, but it unfortunately did not give us that retest. So I waited, and as the third candle came back down to 6460, I went in for a market order. And as I was going for a market order, it filled me in at 59. So let me pull up my Rhythmic Trader Pro. And over here, as you can see, I have one account. I apologize. I did a screenshot for the image with showing both my accounts because I still haven't figured out how to pull up this information and still hiding my account information just to be safe. So right now I'm showing you one of my accounts, which is my master accounts. What I want to do is I want to show you my entries and exits. So as I mentioned, I took three contracts at 64.59. So let me pull this up on the side over here. So over here at this candle, um, I got filled at 64.59, and within a few seconds that candle went right back up as it was at support, And normally, regardless of the move in the market, my daily goal is catching 10 points on the ES. So when I was filled at 59, I knew I wanted to take an exit closer to 69. So as I saw that quick move, I went in and requested for my contracts to be sold at 68.50. But as the move was so quick, I actually got filled at 64, 69.75. So that's just over 10.75 points. And each contract, I had three contracts. So we got close to $1,600 for those contracts. It is very essential for us to understand, and what I want to share is having a plan in a scenario like this. I was watching a few of my friends really take a trade, and they got on with this candle expecting a move higher. A lot of times when we see so much buying going on, we also need to understand the buyers need more liquidity to keep that continuation. We can see definitely my trade was done here because that's part of my discipline of being a trader. But we could see after this, it held on to this level, tried to do a push, came back down, tried to get more liquidity, continued on during the day. So if you held contracts over here, you definitely knew that you are going to get a push, but for it to really break more levels, it needed to get more liquidity. And as we see right now, during the making of this video, it has been trying to break over the 6500 level, but it has not been able to. The most important part in any trading journey is simply understanding how much are you willing to lose. So for me, the reason I didn't take a trade over on this candle, but I took a trade on the second candle is the closer the trade is to the level I'm looking at, the more fake out space I can give that trade. So for example, I took an entry at 59. So I knew if I was willing to risk 2 to 3 points, and this my 60 was my level, I was willing to go up to close to say 56. So which you can see on the second candle, it actually went back down all the way to 56. So if you give it that much space, you're still in the trade, because a lot of times you might take a trade, you might put in a stop loss, and that stop loss might just get hit, and then the next thing you know, the trade just went in your direction. And as a trader, that is not something that we look for. So the most important thing in this is not the dollar amount. It definitely, for YouTube purposes, 3200 in 1 minute is something that really sounds good. For as a trader, I think what I want you all to really focus on is having a clear plan before entering. So you know what level you're looking at, you know what your stop loss is, and you know how much you're willing to lose. Even though I'm trading with funded accounts, the way I treat these accounts is the discipline it teaches me. It helps me when I'm trading with my interactive brokers account for my options, because the learning of these trades is something that helps you when you're taking an options trade. I mostly do options except for the futures. So it really helps me build that discipline. The second thing I would say you want to always keep in mind is managing the risk and the stop loss. Like I said, if you were closer to 64.60, you knew where your stop loss was going to be. And even if the trade would have gone against you, you at least were satisfied that you gave it that space. If, say, for this instance, if you had a close stop loss of, say, if you would have entered at 64 and you had a 60 stop loss, it would have hit your stop loss, came back down, and went right back up. And the third thing which I mentioned to you all is about the confirmation instead of guessing. So we wanted a confirmation that this level is holding. So when I took that entry, I had a stop loss underneath it, even though I wasn't really guessing for it to continue on, because I knew it could have come back all the way down over here to these levels of 64.28 and gone back up. That would have still been positive, but not something idle if I was looking at a fill of 64.60. Of course, not every trade goes like this. Futures is highly leveraged, meaning you can make big money, but you can also lose if you are careless. That's why risk management is everything. Never trade money you can't afford to lose, and always practice first before scaling up. So that is something that I always want to emphasize. I know at the beginning of this video, I spoke to you all about Trader Sync, something I use for copy trading. So I wanted to pull it up. I wanted to make sure to refresh this so I can confirm with you all that I made $1,600 per account. These are my two accounts. And one of the best things with Trader Sync is I use a MacBook Air. And like I said, I use Rhythmic Trader Pro. And it is so interesting that for MacBook Air, when you're using a Rhythmic Trader Pro, copy trading, it was such a big hustle. I spent multiple days trying to find stuff where it was telling me to download Windows and all these other stuff. And I really wasn't looking to do that. And I knew there has to be a much better way. I also wanted to confirm with you all, showing you all that these accounts are live, because I know when creators show screenshots, there's a lot of questions. I haven't adjusted the time zone, so definitely 201 is not some at that time that I took the trade or I sold the trade. It's the time zone difference, that's something I have to adjust. But I wanted to share Trader Sync. Hopefully, this helps someone who's looking to do copy trading with that aspect. And at the end, so in this story, I just want to be like, I know I shared with you all that I made $3,200 in just over 1 minute, but the breakdown of why I took the trade, how I took the trade, and what confirmation you should be looking at in the future is something that I wanted to share with you all. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. Give me some feedback on how you have been finding the videos. Is this something that's interesting? I'm hoping I can do a series on, the Apex after I get funded and keep that continuation on, because I know there is a lot of audience out there who's looking to see how things go, because it's a really good way of really learning to trade. And psychologically, it helps you build that discipline, which is so important in today's market. The market, I would say, over the past few months has changed a lot, become very volatile. And if you can catch, moves where you can try out multiple strategies, I feel it is amazing. Again, thank you so much for tuning in into today's video. If any of y'all have any trades that y'all took that y'all want to share with the audience or with the group, please feel free to write it in the comments. I would love to hear from y'all. It's an amazing journey. I really find this interesting that I get to share my trades with an audience. It's a way for me to really make, give back in the smallest way, because I feel like if there's one trader who sees this video and takes a trade in the future and makes money and comes back and says, Praj, your trade really helped me. I think that's what I'm looking for. So thank you again. Until next time, trade smart, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.